Wagwan. Right, we're gonna have a quick episode.
A quick one.
A
A
quick one.
quickie, as they say.
Yes, because I have to walk the dog at some point. And
Okay, happy half an hour episode.
yeah. Um I mean I'm already recording now, so we're all good. Um so yeah, this could be a short one today. I like to be fair, it's weird because it's a short episode, but a lot happened this week.
Well, this week I haven't really looked at the news. I've been very busy, so I've got no clue what's happened.
Yeah, I mean, I've cut out the Twitter questions for this week because I want to give everybody kind of a break from that and let them think of more questions, and also
Double questions next week.
potentially, yeah, ask 2 questions next time. So the news this week, okay, okay, there's obviously one thing that's been in the news this week, probably the elephant in the room.
That's right. Ludwig has joined Moist Esports.
Yes, he has. What a great deal! I think this is going to benefit everybody in so many ways.
He is the Snoop Dogg of FaZe Clan, but Moist Esports instead.
Yeah, I think this is the biggest event since that certain thing that happened
Oh, yeah, that thing.
12 years ago. Or not 12 years ago. God, what, 22 years ago.
God. Well, anyway.
Well, anyway, on to more lighter news. Justin Roiland's a
Is it?
pedophile.
Is that lighter news?
I mean, Rick and Morty's over. Well, it's not over. I don't know, but I don't know what they're gonna do with this. I mean, we've talked about this in private, but I don't know what they're gonna do with this. Like,
Yeah, it's very weird because like he's a creep, right? That's basically
that's
cut and dry. He's a creep.
Yeah. I mean, what the one way to put it like is he's a creep. Another way to put it is, uh, he's fucked. And
Yeah.
like before there was like obviously the allegations and like a lot of people, I don't know, I even saw Moist Critical get in trouble because he kept saying like these are allegations still, blah blah blah. And there are cases where like screenshots of people's messages are altered, and but it seems at the moment that it's like with all the evidence that's been given, it almost seems like some of this has to be at least true, and even if some of it is true, it's still fucked.
Yeah, like there only has to be like one bit of it to like true for it to be fuck.
Mm-hmm.
That's insane. And it's like if the like Adult Swimmers and Rick and Morty have like cut off the ties with Justin Roiland, so like they wouldn't do that just based on an allegation. It would have to have like substantial legitimate evidence, I'd think.
Yeah, and what's funny is
It's one of their biggest shows. Like they're not gonna.
yeah, it's a $1 billion franchise. Like they're not gonna do it unless they have to like do it. But he also left Squanch Games like a month ago.
Squanch Games.
Well, not a month ago. Sorry, like before this all came out, he left Squanch Games. Like he resigned. Which is like kind of sus. However, what I find funny his legal team is doubling down. Like his legal team is like, oh no, we've got this in the bag. Like Justin's gonna be a free man. Don't worry. And I'm thinking maybe he's got Saul on the case. Maybe he
Call Saul.
Yeah.
I really better call Saul because
he's gonna be the best lawyer he can get. I mean, like that's the thing as well. Where this has happened before with celebrities and people. We're both British, so we had the Jimmy Savile thing that happened a few years ago now. Which was a big sad.
That was so long ago. That's like 10 years ago now, isn't it?
I think it all came out 10 years ago, but like it I think it was like officially a thing because like Louis Theroux was still making documentaries with him until like right up until his death.
Yeah, and I find it so weird. So like he died in 2011, and then it was like the very next year everything comes out, and it's like it people like I don't think someone like Louis Theroux knew about it. Like I've seen his documentaries on it, and like the one that he made after it all came out.
Yeah.
Like it does seem genuinely like he was just tricked, and everyone else was tricked.
Yeah, exactly.
But there
Yeah.
will have been some people that knew
Oh,
about it.
oh yeah. There were hundreds. That was the whole controversy. It's like there were BBC executives who were like, all right, like make sure this doesn't get out. He makes us money. But yeah, I mean, I was gonna say as well. It's like, what scares me, and I think this is why this is like such a big deal now. It was not, it's not a big deal now, but like it's always been a case. But I think it's becoming a much bigger case. It's like when you have people that you didn't think for a moment could do something. It's like, okay, how many more of these people in this industry like are capable of these things? You know,
Yeah, because
that
you
yeah.
you always like when you hear about stuff going on, like scandals like that going on in Hollywood, it's always like live action shows and like sort of director in the room stuff, and
Mhm.
like it's happening, people know it's happening, but
Yeah.
like like Justin Roiland, I get is like a big person being a part of like lots of shows, not just Rick and Morty. Like, wasn't he? I think he had something to do with like Gravity Falls, didn't he?
I was about to say this is I'm getting scared because I love Gravity Falls. It's one of my favorite shows. Like even to this day, I watched like during COVID the entire 2 seasons again. Um, and the writer for the show, which I think is it Alex Hirsch? Yeah, Alex Hirsch, and he is very close friends with Justin Roiland. And
Yeah,
I'm worried, and now I'm like, okay, is that circle of friends? Like, do they have this like similar? Like that's the thing. You can't go accusing people now who are just like like people who just know other people or friends of other people, like
yeah. But it just sort of it hits close to
hmm
home, and like you just sort of the people that you've liked and admired, and then
Yeah, I was gonna say, Gravity Falls has 100% rating on Rotten Tomatoes.
good show.
Yeah, 96% average audience rating, but an average on the tomato meter. That is, goddamn, it is a very good show, to be fair.
Yeah, I need to watch it again. I haven't watched that since I was at uni, like first year uni.
Yeah, he did another show as well recently. I think it's apparently really like good. I don't know if like how good, but he has done other shows after Gravity Falls. Of Owl House, that was it.
The Outhouse.
Yeah, Owl House is a comedy horror show. Oh god, that sounds great. And it has, what does it have on Rotten Tomatoes? Because that is my only way of finding out if anything's good. It has 100%. It has the same exact rating, 92% and 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. All right, that's the next
People
show.
do be liking
Yeah,
any Alex Hirsch show.
yeah. You know, you must be. He's a talented guy. Um, but yeah, like it is like like also like his surely like maybe some of the other cast of Rick and Morty may have, I don't know if they knew or they had suspicions or I all I'm trying to get is like the co-writer is fucked as well, and I think somebody should maybe investigate him.
Yeah, like Hollywood's just that sort of weird.
Yeah,
It's a weird space to be in.
yeah,
Who knows what these people are doing?
exactly. Um, yeah. Well, I'm gonna have to tone this down a bit to a darker side, for a bit. Um,
It's getting worse.
yeah, it's going a lot worse. It's like you said, you haven't really been in touch with the news recently. But this is a serious topic now, and I've said this when I first started this podcast. I didn't want to bring serious topics really into it or like get serious about things, but I think this is like one exception I will take. With the recent arrest that occurred in the U.S. and it was a case of police brutality, and it is very bad. Tyre Nicholas, oh no, sorry, Tyre. I'm sorry if I really pronounced the name wrong. Tyre Nichols, uh, you know, was recently beaten and killed by police officers. And I think this one might be a biggie in the sense that where in with George Floyd there was like a massive debate on racial motivation and police segregation, and it was somewhat of a battle, which is funny because they're both somewhat fighting the same side, but it was like one side screaming it was a race issue while the other group was fighting that it was a police issue. And then there's also the other people just denying that the whole thing was even like a problem. um while this, because like all the police officers involved were African American, and the guy who killed was African American. This seems to be it now confirmed that this, like, sure, there's a race issue. That's not what it's denying, but it's definitely 100% confirming there's a
There is
police.
definitely a police brutality issue in the US.
Yeah, exactly, and it's yeah, this is bad, and I heard about it. I think it happened 2 nights ago or last night, and I think it was Jack the intern from Sir Swag who messaged us to say this video hasn't been released yet, but this apparently the video is like the most brutal body cam video that's like gonna come out in history or whatever. And yeah, he was kind of right. I watched it tonight, and I was kind of fucked over. So I just want to take this like one moment to say I hope the families of the people involved who have been affected or hurt by this like are safe, and I hope they are, you know, they can mourn, and you know,
Your thoughts are with them, yeah.
yeah, thoughts are with them. It's a horrible tragedy, and like if I don't know if it would, if like, you know, horrible stuff happens all the time and we wouldn't maybe cover certain stuff, but I think because it's just so like, okay, this is a problem and it's so like clearly happened, it's something that we should just mention, that, you know, where our hearts are going out to not like, yeah, the families, but also like just the people like in the States in general. Like the people must be terrified right now if this can happen to somebody. And
Yeah.
yeah, we do really wish you the best. um yeah, I can't really, they can't really make a joke out of this one. I'm sorry.
No.
No, there's nothing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that is horrible. Yeah,
yeah,
no.
yeah. It's a bad one. But on the lighter side of the news, God, I should have probably left that one to the last. The lighter side of the news. What have I got here? Oh yes. A teacher was shot by a student in the U.S.
What?
I
I don't know if that's it's not very light.
No, so I can't remember what it was. Like it's not funny, but this it's just a concept. Like America's so fucked. But I think it was, oh, yeah. I gotta like I wrote the headline down, but I gotta like remind myself. Um. Oh yeah, a teacher was shot by a 6-year-old.
Yeah, I've just Googled what you said and I found a story about it.
And was what the fuck? Teacher was shot by 6-year-old. Says school was warned 4 times. Announces lawsuit. Now I've got a few questions here.
Hmm.
Where does a 6-year-old get a gun?
It's the family. Like I'm not gonna get into like a gun control argument, or like whether or not you should have guns.
But I think we can agree a
But if you have
6-year-old.
guns, and you have children, you know, keep the guns out of children's reach.
Yeah, like that's yeah. But here's the thing: there was the kid out like. Was the kid like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna go shoot my teacher? Or was the kid just like, hey, look, I've got a gun, and then boom? Oh no, the boy allegedly hit the school employee before officers took him into custody. What the fuck? This 6-year-old's on. I want to know what drugs he's on, man.
He threatened to beat up another child that day. What?
This is okay. I gotta find some good news. Please tell me I've written somewhere down here. Good, any good news at all. Oh god, no, this is not good news. Um,
Uh, Ludwig joined Mike's Esports.
Yeah. Oh, that was one story I think that happened. It may have happened last week, but I've already heard about this week. Apparently, I think it was a rocketing or missile system that Switzerland had bought from Taiwan,
Oh,
and
okay.
it wasn't working. So Switzerland sent it back, but they sent it to China.
Oh.
Very awkward.
I'm sure China will be happy about that. That's like Switzerland recognizing Taiwan as in China. You're like, oh yeah, we sent it back to China.
Yeah.
Uh, and if China now has a Taiwanese missile system
Yeah.
that they can reverse engineer and figure out, and
It is very. It was a big oof, big mistake. It wasn't meant to
yeah,
happen, but you know.
it's happened.
Yeah. What else happened this week? It was Chinese New Year, so happy Chinese New Year to everybody.
Yeah, happy year of the rabbit.
Yeah, it's your year.
That's my year. I was
uh,
born this year.
yeah, exactly. You are barely a
That's
year
why
old.
I started the podcast this year. That's when I was born.
um, what else could I say? I don't think there's anything that was good from this week, if I'm completely honest with you.
Um, um, let's Middlesbrough won today.
There you go. That's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah, beat Watford.
Arsenal won against um, Man United, which was very good.
Well, you did lose to City.
Yeah, we did lose to City, but we it's not a real team. Okay. Okay. We'll move on from the news, considering there's no good news this week.
The
Sorry to
news
say,
is sad.
the news is sad. But what isn't sad is I can hear myself.
Oh no. Last time you said this, I listened back to the podcast and you couldn't hear yourself. Like you were lying to me.
No, I can. I'm just gonna like turn my microphone down. So, well, not my microphone, but I'm gonna turn my speaker down so I can't hear myself. Okay. Um, what isn't sad is the wheel of topics. So, let us spin the
Still
wheel.
need a name.
Yeah, I haven't decided on the name, and I don't think we ever will. But I'm gonna spin the wheel. Bad geography. I love
Oh.
bad geography because this is where I have to show you a map. The only annoying thing about bad geography is I have to edit it into the video, which takes time.
Having to do work.
Yeah. So for this week's bad geography, I actually need to find it because I have it in a folder somewhere. Ba 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 ba. What do you like about geography?
Like about geography. Well, everything happens within space, like as in a place on the Earth or the universe, right?
Mm-hmm.
Within a particular time frame, and that is geography.
You know what? That makes so much sense because I never knew that was geography. Okay, I'm gonna.
That is geography.
Did I send you this one before? Hmm.
Hmm.
Hmm. um. Hmm. All right. I will send you this one, and I may have sent you this one before, but I don't think I did. No, I definitely did not. I gotta quickly. This is a very interesting map, and I want to see if you would think it was pretty accurate of a map.
Hmm. Well. Uh-huh.
Now, to give people context of this map, while you could argue that in some ways this is correct, it also depends on where you're from.
Yeah. So there's everything's just a bit off. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah. I was gonna say, like, sure, the West is the West, but like, eh.
Like, here's the thing, right? If I had to draw a map of like the UK's regions, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'd probably draw something similar to that, but like from memory. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's almost like because it does seem like it's accurate, but at the same time, I like in my head, I'm like, I don't know, it doesn't work in my head. If that makes sense.
I've never heard of the like. I've heard of the borders, like the borderlands,
Mm.
but never as like a separate region, right?
I was gonna say I didn't realize the Borderlands stretched like all the way into the East Coast. I always just thought of it as Northeast.
Like Northwest.
Yeah, no, but like as in the Northeast was just the Northeast. I didn't realize there's other places within the Northeast.
Because like it's really weird seeing a map without like a city on, because that gives me my bearings of things. So what I'm looking at is the Humber to work out where Hull is and work everything out based on where Hull is.
Yeah.
And like so I can't tell. Right? So like Northumberland and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
I'd always say it's the northeast.
Mm-hmm.
I never really class it as like a borders region, but then I don't know if that's saying that it's north of Northumberland in the Scottish side of it is the borders, which I guess maybe it is.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's all a
And
bit fucky wucky. You know what it's like? It's like seeing a mirror, but the mirror is like somewhat altered a bit, so it's like it's an accurate depiction of what you're looking at, but it just something is off about it.
yeah, like the fact that they are taking like bits of Scotland out of the region of Scotland
Mm,
is a bit weird to me.
yeah, it
And
is
like,
it is very very. I don't personally like that, but I saw
and then
another one though, which I think is
I
even
think
more cursed.
it's Scotland's border being so off that's confusing me about the northeast, because I can't tell where they've put like can't tell if Middlesbrough and that sort of area. Like
Yeah,
they've put that in the northeast, I think, which I like, but I think everything's just a bit like wrongly shaped.
yeah. Well, this was apparently in a textbook, in a geography textbook. Um, this map here.
Aha, it's missing a country, and Canada's a bit. But the more I look at it, the worse it gets, actually.
I hate the term Northeast Asia. I don't like that term. Just use Eastern Siberia.
I can't stop looking at Canada.
The Great Lakes have just become one giant. No, like well, Eastern Canada is just an island.
Yeah, it's like the third of Newfoundland. I don't
Yeah,
know. The third of Nova Scotia, let's call it.
yeah,
And they've gone, that must be like all of it. Ottawa must be there. Like,
like
Quebec's in there.
well, one like the horn of like the horn of Africa is not really a horn anymore. Madagascar is literally almost the size of Europe. Alaska is like almost as big as the continental United States. Um, I don't know what
You've
the
got
fuck happened to Scandinavia.
like the fact that the British Isles are connected not only to each other, so there is Ireland and uh like Great Britain connected onto one landmass, but that landmass is also connected to Western Europe. But yet Canada has this massive like sea between them and the US.
Also, why is like where Constantinople's supposed to be like it's so tiny and but it's like warped. Like
Yeah,
well, like Palestinian areas and like all that stuff are all underwater.
maybe this is the future. No,
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 it can't
no,
be. I was like, no.
no.
Could it be the future where everything's flooded? And then I was like, no, it can't be because why is Britain connected to Europe?
Yeah, New Zealand doesn't exist either. That's just not
No.
a real thing.
Yeah, New Zealand was the first country I realized was gone.
Yeah, the
And
Indian subcontinent doesn't seem very thick anymore.
no, they've lost some weight.
It's just all. It's just. eh.
It's like if someone had to quickly scribble down like what all the country, like what all the land masses look like, quickly scribble it down.
Yeah,
They've done that.
essentially. Yeah. Well, that
There's no
ends.
gap between North Africa and Gibraltar.
It's a river.
God.
But that ends our little, bad geography session there. I will actually spin the wheel one more time because we don't have a lot to talk about today on today's podcast. But
What happens when we skip the news?
yeah, hot takes. Oh, my favorite one.
Okay.
Okay.
So
You go
I've
first.
got a hot take that I alluded to in the last episode,
Mhm.
but I'm gonna go with it.
Mhm.
So the new Pokemon games, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet,
Mhm.
although they're a buggy piece of shit, are some of the best Pokemon games released since like the 3DS era.
You know what? I wouldn't know because I haven't played a Pokemon game
Like
since I was 13 or 14.
like the complaints that people have, right? I'll run you through them. So the complaints are it's buggy, which it is buggy, yeah. The cutscenes all run at about 2 FPS, which yeah, they do run at 2 FPS.
This does sound like a great game.
Yeah, wait for it though. So it's buggy, it runs at 2 FPS, and some people have the complaint that it's too easy, like they've had about a lot of Pokemon games that have released since, well, basically since Gen 2 and 3, really. People have just thought Pokemon's getting too easy. But on the other hand, right, it's got all of those things, but it doesn't take away from the experience, right?
Mm-hmm.
It does, but it doesn't do it enough. Because like having a fully open world Pokemon game that yes has a very long introduction that takes forever to get through, but once you're into the actual game, the ability to go anywhere, do the gyms in any order, catch whatever Pokemon you want. Like a problem I've always had with Pokemon games is the Pokemon that are like a Pokemon you get in the end game or the late game. In this Pokemon, there's only like something like 8 to 10 Pokemon really that are locked off behind like being in an area that you only unlock at the very end of the game for the last bit of the story. Every other Pokemon in the Pokedex, other than the starters, is somewhere around the island, and you can go there whenever you want, like from the minute you finish the sort of tutorial part. And yeah, they're stupidly high leveled, some of them, and to use them, you have to catch them and then breed a Pokemon to get them to a level that will actually obey you without the gym badges. But being able to like actually build whatever team you want is so much more fun than having to choose from like, you know, a choice of 5 or 6 different like viable Pokemon before the first gym and then doing that first gym. Like the only issue I have with the game is I wish that the game understood what level you were or how many gyms and challenges you'd taken on and scale the levels of the gym that you choose to take on in any random order and do it so it's just the first time you take on a gym, yeah, they're at level 15 no matter what gym it is, and then the second one is the higher leveled and you don't have to do it in an order. But other than that, like, most fun I've had in a Pokemon game.
Wow. You've sold it to me. Now I just have to buy a Nintendo Switch.
Exactly.
Damn. Okay. I mean, I haven't seen the reviews of the new Pokemon game, but if it's as bad as people are saying it is, I don't believe them.
Well, yeah. I think a lot of people as well that don't like the game haven't played it. Like, a lot of people that I've heard, like, people that we know personally who have complained about the game haven't played it, have just seen reviews of it and are like,
yeah, but everybody
why
we
would I
know,
buy a game that's buggy?
Everybody we know are morons, so like us.
And it's actually a properly multiplayer game. Like, you can be in the overworld with up to 3 other people catching Pokemon together.
Yeah. Well,
battling trainers. It's fun.
I think I've got an even harder take.
Yeah, probably.
So my hot take is I can still hear it's coming out of my audio output, but I can hear my voice.
Cannot be. I keep turning you down.
I mean, okay, wait. I'm gonna try and speak now. Okay, I can't hear myself anymore. Okay, I'm ready for my hot take.
Hot take.
And I think you know this hot take already, but just that I'm gonna get like roasted by the Overwatch community right now.
Uh-oh.
I miss Mercy's full team res ult.
Yeah, and that's valid.
Like, people like say it was such bullshit, and I go, no. The whole point of like everybody's ultimates was that they were game changing like buttons. Like, you press Q and you change what's happening in the game, and it made the game constantly interesting. And while I think people were complaining that the ult was broken, I think there was just not enough ults. Other people's ults were broken enough. And so,
yeah.
And like that's the thing. You could be being absolutely obliterated by another team, and then all of a sudden, bada boom, you switched like the roles, and now you have an extra chance to actually get together and win.
Yeah, and I think like there is in the game right now, there's only really like one ult that I see as almost like a guaranteed team wipe, basically, or guaranteed to swing like a few kills in your favor as soon as you press the Q button, and it's Ramatra's ult.
Yeah.
And like that properly fully changes the game. I feel like now there's a lot of like kind of underwhelming ults.
Yeah. Well, I don't get Widow's ult. Like, I've said this before, Hanzo can just do it every couple of seconds.
Yeah, and it doesn't even last long enough, really.
Yeah. So it's like, but that's the thing. I miss when the game when like the ultimates like really had a massive like change on the game, and it's like, even if, and this is what people like annoy me about, because they then will say like, well, no, actually, it wasn't even that good, because like teams like would still lose if they used it. And I'm like, that's why it wasn't broken. Like, you could still lose
like,
with it.
Mercy's ult right now, I don't really like. Like, you can fly around properly and you heal better and your damage output better. But like, if you think of like Anna's ult, where she presses Q on some random hero and they get massive damage output, and then all you have to do is focus on healing it. Sort of better than, like, I know you can't do it for the full team, but you don't have to worry about swapping between healing and damage boosting with Anna when you've popped off her ult. It just does it.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, a lot of the ults sort of feel underwhelming. Like Moira's ult that just shoots a laser beam that heals a lot and damages people, but the damage isn't really that much. And I get they're a support character, but then like, why not have, I don't know, just something that feels more substantial than that?
Yeah, like a lot of the ults just feel like extra abilities, but you have to wait a long time for. But it's like there's some ults that I'm perfectly happy with right now, like Mei's ult. Like I'm happy with it. Like what it like even if it doesn't change the game completely, it like at least has an impact on the other team completely if you time it right.
Yeah, like I think people like Mei, Reaper, Junkrat, they've all got pretty good ults, like just classic from the first Overwatch that just sort of work.
Yeah.
Like they all perform a role and do something game changing. When I see like a Moira on the other team press their ult thing, I'm not really worried because one, Moiras think the DPS characters, so they're not really using that beam to heal their own team, so you can still focus people down.
Yeah, exactly. But when you hear like Junkrat's ult, you like, oh shit, everybody run, or
there is a state of panic.
Yeah, or
when you hear Junkrat,
or it's even like just with Reaper, you just see him like if he's like standing on top of somewhere, you're like, oh fuck, he's about to pull it off.
Reaper's stood on top of a bridge about to jump down, or you see him start phasing towards the team. You're like, oh no.
Yeah, it's like it's things like that. It puts terror and it makes you panic. It makes the game exciting. Like hearing Moira's ult, for example, I don't get if I hear Mercy's ult, I don't get terrified. I don't get like there's not many ults. Even like Roadhog's ult now, like to a point.
Yeah, Roadhog's ult has so much like recoil on it that it is just
let him push you away, but he's not even gonna be able to like do any damage to you.
Yeah, like the further you get knocked back, the less damage he's doing.
Yeah.
It's only if he catches you into a wall, and then the problem with that is by the time he's pushed one person into a wall, everyone else on the team's got around.
Yeah, exactly.
It's only it's good for pushing people off the point. I guess that's about it.
It's just
you're in a closed map. It's got its use, but
yeah, it's like it's the same. But like I one character I still think they need to fix like 100% because they haven't really fixed her all since the game had started is Widowmaker's. Oh, it's like her. You hear her like do the whatever is
no one can hide from my sight.
Yeah, and then she like you're like, oh, okay.
They've got a few seconds of wall hacks, but it's like the only person that really benefits from Widow's ult is Widow because she can like watch a squishy character come around a corner and headshot them. But it's like for everyone else in Overwatch, it's like people are going to come around corners.
Yeah,
you can pre-fire it as much as you want, but you're not going to instantly kill them. Yeah. And they're going to get behind their tank, or if it is the tank coming around the corner, like you getting your shots off first isn't really going to help when the tank's followed by 4 other teammates just bombing you down.
Yeah, it's also like McCree's ult. I think it's been so long since I've been killed by McCree's ult.
Yeah, that takes too long, and he's too vulnerable because he has to have like proper lines of sight.
Yeah, it's like back in the day, it was like if you heard it's high noon, you're like, oh fuck, like run.
Yeah, I think as well, right? A thing that they could do for Widowmaker is they've got so many like aim hack ults already, so like McCree and Soldier, where you just run around holding left click. If you made Mercy's ult, where like for 5 seconds or whatever, she got headshots on anyone she could see, but she still had to charge up her sniper to 100%. Like, that would be quite a good ult for her.
Yeah, no, that would be like so much better. like yeah, it would be like somewhat like high noon, but like yeah, it would sort of be, or like you know how she's, I don't know, like maybe her sniper turns into like a multi-shot gun that has like different, I don't know, it's this is fucking Blizzard, or like, oh sorry, like they're an indie company.
Oh, yeah, they could do like the sniper turns into like the Scout 20 from Counter Strike, like the rapid firing sniper rifles that are just bullshit to come up against.
Yeah, like literally, that would be fun. And like I know people like scream. Here's the thing: people screaming about Sojourn, and like if you play a good Sojourn, then like yeah, it's you're a good Sojourn. But like she doesn't like. Here's the thing: I hate when people say this is like an objective fact that this character is OP, or this is an objective fact. It's like okay, yes, there's a lot of reasons why this character is overpowered. However, do I think this character is enough overpowered enough for me to be like um they're unstoppable or I'm terrified playing against this character? Like no, maybe Orisa, but that's about it.
Maybe Orisa. Orisa's an annoying tank to play against.
Yeah, but she's so much
Soldier
fun.
I don't see as an issue because it like Soldier has decent movement, but if they dive somewhere, they don't have a way to heal themselves.
Yeah. Also, the
So
railgun you have to actually aim.
yeah, like people get annoyed because they get killed by the railgun, but what is happening like 9 times out of 10 with a good soldier and player is they're shooting you charging up that railgun, and then as soon as your health gets to a low enough amount for the railgun to take you out in one shot, they're right-clicking while the aim's still tracked on you.
Yeah.
So they're basically firing a full clip into you anyway.
Yeah, it's somewhat like what Soldier
this
does.
should kill you. Yeah.
It's like just keep moving around so you can't aim at you, and if you're really good at aiming, then play a character that can either like shield themselves or protect themselves. Like like when I'm playing with Mei and I get Sojourn, I feel like I'm not even a hard counter to Sojourn, but I do feel like I can counter her pretty easily.
Yeah, I think a lot of the DPS is like quite well balanced. Like I don't. The only thing I'm properly scared of in DPS is when someone is a good Widow or a good Hanzo, and it's like because I play support a lot, and it's like if you're not playing a shield tank,
yeah,
like if you're trying to heal your team and you're not stood behind someone that's stopping all the damage from getting to you, a good Widow just looks at the back lines, takes out the healers, and then deals with the DPSs while everyone else is focusing down the tanks.
Yeah. What I also hate is when people, and this is somebody we know he's said this multiple times, and they keep going like, why would you want to play DPS? It's not fun anymore. And it's like, isn't that like somewhat subjective?
Like, yeah, fun is down to an individual person.
Yeah, it's like, why would you play DPS? It's not even fun. It's like, what do you mean? I enjoy it. Like, that's up to me, not to you.
Yeah, and it's like, so I'll complain sometimes about playing healer all the time, but 9 times out of 10 I want to play healer. Like, especially when I'm on higher pings, I'd rather play healer and feel like I can do something valuable. The only thing that annoys me is when I play healer and people complain about it.
Yeah.
Like, when I'm told every few seconds, like if I'm playing a line of sight healer like Kiriko, and I'm being told every few seconds, why aren't you healing me? And where they are on the map is they've dived the enemy backlines, they're around a million walls, and it's like, they're like, oh, you've got a teleport though, you could be there, and it's like, yes, and then we both die.
Like, I mean, that's just supports in a nutshell. That's what they have to live through.
Yeah, it is the worst. Or like when multiple people on the team are on critical health, and you've decided to heal the person on critical health that is still in the middle of a fight, instead of going to heal the Widowmaker at the back that's ran into cover after they got shot a few times.
Yeah.
It really frustrates me.
Yeah. Well, we're coming up to 45 minutes now, so I think before we end it, we should name our person of the week.
Well, all over the week there has been a person
I don't want
Uh,
to. You know what? I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it. I know who the person of the week is gonna be. 100%. Person
you
the,
say it.
the person of the week is going to be Jerry.
You know what? Yeah, everyone's a Jerry, other than me. I'm not a Jerry. Um,
Hey, no, everybody shits on Jerry, but Jerry was actually the best character of them all.
the best characters, voice actor.
Yeah, if you liked Rick or Morty, you know what you are.
You disgust me.
You just you just random people going up to you. You know what you did.
Yeah, but you know me, I'm more of a summer person. They're all right, right?
Yeah, if you like watching a teenage girl pee themselves all the time.
Well, okay. I like. I like Mr. Goldenfold. No, actually, he's creepy too.
Which one's
I
golden?
like the teacher that is a bit weird towards
Oh yeah.
Mortimer.
Yeah.
I like.
Jerry.
Uh,
It sounds like Jerry.
I like
What's Morty's crush called again?
Jessica.
Jess-
That's right.
Jessica. She turned into a time god, so she's pretty cool.
Yeah, let's go for Jessica.
Why don't Jerry and Jessica? That's a new show. The Adventures of Jerry and Jessica. That doesn't actually sound right.
The Jurassica show.
Jurassic. All right. Thank you very much, Kieran, for coming back on the show. And thank you, everybody else who were listening.
Bye.
Bye bye.